it to be more formal. He says, oh, I don't know it'll, I said, I can see it. That's one of the things I can do, I can see it. And he says, okay, but let's look at the larger of the bricks, you know, instead of the normal little, let's go the bigger. And he had a bunch of those brought in and put together. He said, well, you're right, it looks fabulous together. It's such a statement, such a beautiful statement. And my goodness, as old as our country is, there still are log homes that are still standing. I mean, they're like a forever thing.
Is that the statement you think it makes?
It's pretty grand. I mean, it's very substantial looking.
You decorated this house in 3 days?
My girlfriend Kathy Buchek and I decorated in 3 days. We went to High Point, North Carolina during one of the, whatever, the big trade show, whatever they call it, where they show the decorators, the stuff. And I ordered everything and selected all my fabrics.
What did you have in mind? Did you have a color in mind?
No, but see, my architect had given me a small version of my blueprints so that I could see actual, you know, and he gave me my little ruling measuring thing so I could know exactly for
little scale
for my rugs to scale. I don't know, I guess it doesn't amaze me because we did it, but first couple of days we looked and I took notes and thought, and because we might see something else, and then the third day just started ordering, here we go. And
are you like that as just in general?
I'm very decisive.
Yeah. You know exactly what you want and then you want it done right away?
I want it yesterday. Yeah, I'm impatient, I really am. In fact, I'm like that joke of when I pray, and I do. Please, Lord, please give me patience. And would you do it real fast, please? You know, that's very me.
I just want to talk about this room a little bit.
The family room.
And I assume that this is a room that you use quite a bit.
This is the room we use. We eat here. We have our family eating table here, our little setting area here for visiting, and the cooking is right there. It's all in one room, and we got that idea from a condominium we used to own in Aspen before we got our home there.
Do you cook?
Marcia, I'm a good cook. If you like really plain and simple, then I'm good. My kitchen is pretty and simple, and I like clean countertops. You know, I don't like lots of knickknacks out there. Any lady that likes to cook, I think would like the commercial stove. It's gas, of course. I cook by the seat of my pants, so to speak, and I've never followed a recipe or any of that. So I like seeing the height of the flame and what it's doing. And
and the fact that the kitchen is adjacent to this dining area, is adjacent to the seating area of the family room, that really works for you.
It lets us all be together because I can be in the kitchen, you know, doing dinner while Ken is enjoying watching TV. Nathan's at the counter working on his homework. A family room is important to where it's something that you all want to do and need to do, and you all sort of get together.
In the floor here in the family room, you have a painted area.
It's a painted rug. I just said, paint me a rug under that table. And, you know, leave it where the pretty wood kind of shows through. Everybody loves the three bears. I mean, that means something to everybody. These three bear cubs, they are our three babies, Matthew, Jamie Nicole, and Nathan. When we sit at the glass top table and look down, you know, we see that. They're fun. This whole house, every square inch of it, was built with the family of 5 and with the children in mind, and the playground out of logs for Nathan, and so on and so on and so on. So this house was definitely built with love.
Will you show us the rest of the house?
I'd love to show you the house, and I want to for sure show you my favorite room, the formal dining room.
Great, let's go there.
And tell you all about it.
Terrific, let's go.
Okay.
And in a moment, we'll see the dining room. But first, when we come back, lessons about log homes from Barbara's husband, Ken. The house the Mandrells built is a remarkable example of craftsmanship. It was built by specialists in log home building using techniques from olden times. Ken Dudney, Barbara's husband, knows a lot about this type of construction.
There's something warm and friendly about a log house. You'll hear the wood creaking and snapping because wood is a medium that it moves all the time, it's always in flux. So I don't know, there's just something warm and homey about wood. I never thought about it before until we owned one or built one for my grandma. And that's where we really first saw it. We just fell in love with it.
So what happens when the wood settles?
Well, in this home, our ceilings are 5.5 inches lower than they were when we first built the home. So you can see around all the doors and windows, you've got to allow for that expansion as that comes down. And so it's an engineering problem, but it's not unsurmountable. These logs came all from Montana on the Continental Divide. This is larch or tamarack pine, which is the closest thing to hardwood they have in the Northwest. And that house was actually built in Montana. They do a full scribe, handcraft the entire length of the log with saddle notch corners, and then they scribe the next log right to it so that it fits with a V joint. And then they put the little chinking material in between just to cut down air infiltration.
Ken, what's the worst enemy of wood?
The worst enemy of any wood is moisture and sunlight. And of course, you see a lot of large overhangs on log homes to try to keep the moisture and the rain off of the logs as much as possible. On the inside of the house, you're going to see is still that golden, beautiful golden brown, which I'd love to maintain that here, but it's just impossible. When wood starts turning gray and everybody sees that, it's a fungus, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
And this has been here for 10 years, and if you can see, it's very thin to where the golden brown starts.
Oh.
It's not very deep at all. Now, if it's sat here for 40, 50 years, of course, it's going to get deeper.
And weathering is kind of attractive.
Weathering is attractive. People like the old antiquing look of sometimes of the log homes. I prefer the golden brown more, but this is what we're going to get.
Now, I know that you did tell me earlier that Barbara designed it. And how much did you have to do with it?
Not a whole lot. The woman is the one that has to be able to like a log home. If the woman does not like a log home, you won't get one. I don't care who you are. At least in my family, you wouldn't have got one.
Which leads us right back to Barbara in her favorite room, the dining room. She's very proud of the chandelier, which was made to fit the shape of her dining room table, a shape she says is conducive to comfort and conversation.
These are two big solid pieces of mahogany. And
They're
it's
sort of
shaped-
angled.
Sort
Sort
of
of like
angled on these sides here so that they could just look down and see people sitting there instead of that person next to you blocking everybody else.
a great idea.
It just works great. And I sit down at, well, Ken's at the head, I'm at the foot, right?
Yes.
And the swinging doors are down there in the dining room so that the servers can come right from, you know, through the big pantry and the kitchen into here. And the people that sit on this side of the table, with our windows open, we have all of our Bradford pear trees out there around the driveway that are tens of thousands of lights, those little bitty lights.
You see
and
them
that's
almost
pretty.
right there. Yeah. You have a very elegant wall covering, which is very interesting to me because here is one of the most elegant dining rooms I've been in, and it is yet set against a very rustic background of the logs.
Of the logs,
yeah.
And then the drapes, the silk, that's the presidential design, if you will. I think it works beautifully together. As you can see, I'm an eclectic kind of
I was going to say either that or schizophrenic. One or the
maybe both. Maybe both.
because it really is the opposite ends of the spectrum.
And I love seeing antiques with modern, you know. Well, even one of my favorite pieces in this room, this antique, I don't know, what do you call those? A sideboard, a buffet table?
Yes,
I don't even know
both,
what you call
yeah.
it thing. We bought it in Aspen, that antique, and years ago. And we kept it in our garage because we knew someday we'd have a house big enough to use that. And I love it.
Shall we go on to the great room?
Oh, I'd love to
Let's
show
go.
you.
Before we see what Barbara calls the great room, let's pass through the centerpiece of the Mandrell home, the dramatic indoor pool, which is ringed with doors and windows, allowing the outside to come in. At the center is a statue, important to the religious spirit of the Dudney Mandrell home. And since the house was built for entertaining, Barbara is proud of an idea she says she borrowed from a restaurant in Aspen, Colorado. A large grill for steaks and baked potatoes, a menu she happily serves her guests in this informal pool setting. And it's the same for the game room.
You're my sunshine, baby, sunshine today.
A play area built for the Mandrell children. A fun room to hold parties where the kids entertain their friends. Barbara borrowed it for a party for her own band. She says the soda fountain atmosphere was perfect.
We did it like a 50s party where they had to dress the part, they and their wives, you know, and we had a wonderful time up there with just like the hamburgers, cheeseburgers, the french fries, the malts, the sundaes, the
days.
milkshake,
yeah.
and the jukebox and the dancing on the little dance floor, and it was great. I'm so glad you're here in my home.
Well, I am so glad to be invited in, and of course, we are in what you call the
great room.
the great room.
Because I just think it's great because we got it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We've had
and
some
it's,
great
It's
times.
really big, isn't it? It's
It's about
big?
48 feet by 48 feet, and then it's about 3 stories high.
You've repeated the logs around the room with lovely lanterns.
Yes, we had those lamps made, and there's some very little subtle things, but we're aware of it. The stained glass that's around the edges of our glass doors as you come and go, and then repeating the same little design, if you will, in some of the ironwork on the balconies.
Tell me also about the balconies, because you have many balconies throughout the home.
Yes.
But what is it about the balcony that you love so much?
Well, I think when you have height in a room, you know, it's kind of nice. This area up here, if you want, you could just go sit and read a little book quietly, or that also leads to an outside deck.
Let me ask a question about how you designed the room and the way you thought people would sit and be entertained here. You have how many areas? You have 1, this area we're in 2, and that area 3.
And then the table and the...
And the table, the round table with the chairs 4. Let me ask you about your memory wall. You have lots of pictures of people you regard and respect there.
When we first built it, I thought, Ken, I will never have enough books for all these books, but I have plenty of books, and but I still put pictures around and of family members and of dear friends. Like there's a picture back there of Minnie Pearl and I, Minnie Pearl before she passed.
I know you had great regard for
A good girlfriend, a really good girlfriend, and I called her Miss Minnie for years because respect. And she would finally say, you know, Minnie. You know, just Minnie. And then we got where at that very piano, she would play, we would sing old pop songs, old standards, and she'd start to sing some old pop standard, and I'd start to harmonize with her. She says, how do you know that song? There's lots of pictures of people I love, and then pictures that I'm so honored and thrilled, several of our presidents and the first ladies that I got to meet and know. And on the one wall over here, I have a tremendous gift, I think, that my husband Ken got me that's of Julia Ward Howe wrote my favorite song of all time, lyrically, melodically. I think it's the prettiest thing ever written, is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And he bought me, it's in her handwriting, of one of the verses of the Battle Hymn of the Republic and her picture, and I just treasure that. And Zebra is a Bengal tiger that belonged to Gunter Gable Williams of the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. And
one of the great animal trainers.
Oh, the best. And his name is Zebra. And I didn't want people to ever think that it was like a hunter's thing, so we had this bronze plaque made to go below him of his date of birth and his date of death. And I have these pictures that are framed of him performing in the ring, you know, with Gunter. I never got to touch him, of course, when he was alive and performing, but if you want to, before you leave, up on the balcony, you can reach out and feel of him.
All right, thank you for that. And we'll be right back.
When we come back, the youngest member of the Mandrell family checks in along with a few of his furry friends.
Well, Barbara, we talked a little bit about your son, Nathan, and he has materialized.
Yes, he has.
How old are you, Nathan?
I'm 12 years old, and I'll turn 13 September the 6th.
Aha. And you're in what grade?
6th grade at Good Pasture Christian School.
And your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is hockey.
You live in a beautiful place. What do you like best about it?
It's beautiful. It's awesome, and it's out in the forest, and I like camping and things like that. And we have a little campsite up in the woods, and we go camping all the time. That's fun. Go camping.
We have camp cousins in our woods here. My sister's children and Nathan and I camp out there. The other parents don't come with us, but Mom does. Huh?
Mom is a camper, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Barbara, this is such a glorious place, and it's great to raise a child here, isn't it?
It goes without saying. It's very nice, though, to live in a neighborhood, because that's what I was fortunate to do, where you got a house right next door and kids in the neighborhood and you can go out and play. But we've been, I think, really lucky that, like, some friends from school come over. They'll come home from school or something and stay the night and play. And you just got to kind of prearrange it, because it's a little bit of a drive, you know. But it's a great place.
I want to thank you so much for letting us
You're
come.
so wonderful. Thank you for letting me have this time with you and also with all of your viewers. This is marvelous. We love our home, and from our house to yours, we say thank you, and we love you, and we appreciate you. And the girls do, too.
There they go.
They're playing. We all like it out here in the country, don't we now?
Yes, we do.